What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another Tottenham update and a few transfer rumours to get through today. But we're going to start off with the manager situation. And as you know, as we brought you a couple of videos on it now, Tottenham are in talks with Paulo Fonseca. The talks are at an advanced stage, which was confirmed today by the BBC in Simon Stone. It looks as though this one is going to be the one that gets over the line. And yeah, there's a very I was going to say mixed feelings, but it's not really mixed feelings. It's all resounding negative feelings.
Yeah, and I think it's understandable given how we've gone for Pochettino and Conte over the past week, and people were thinking maybe we are going to start showing some ambition, and then we couldn't get them over the line, and we've gone for a manager who's just been contract's not been extended at Roma last season after finishing 7th, so it doesn't inspire much confidence in where we're heading. However, if you dig a little deeper, I think there are things to be positive with this appointment, and hopefully he can prove a lot of the fan base wrong in terms of how he manages the team and the attacking football he can play. And so there's reasons to be excited, but it's not quite the ambitious appointment we were promised before the season ticket deadline.
Yeah, that's very true. Let's move on. A bit of transfer rumours for you now, and this first one's from RMC Sport, and they say Tottenham are in talks to sign Borussia Mönchengladbach's Marcus Thuram, with negotiations accelerating in recent days. And this went on from Bild after this, and they said Tottenham target Marcus Thuram reportedly has a release clause of 30 million euros this summer. And then finally, Sky Germany said a deal to take Mönchengladbach forward Marcus Thuram to Tottenham is not in the bag yet.
Of course not.
Yet.
Yeah, it's definitely, it won't be in the bag for a while, I think. He was quoted a few weeks ago saying that he'll decide his future after the Euros. So obviously, this could be a lot of agent talk and whatnot. I don't think that it's going to be done before he's back, and it's going to rumble on for a few more weeks, I think.
But what a signing if we can get.
Yeah, look, he's class. He's class. He's a big unit. He's 6'3", but he's got tons of pace, tons of quality up front. Had a great season with Mönchengladbach and can play up front. Very versatile as well. So I'm all in favour of this.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting that Fabio Paratici did try and sign him at Juve a couple years back, so it's definitely one that he's been interested in. But I most definitely would welcome Marcus Thuram to the club.
Well, but then Football London said there's rumours though that if he comes in, he could be a replacement for Harry Kane.
Isn't he a winger?
Yeah, but apparently he can play up front.
So we're going to replace a guy, Harry Kane, with someone that can play up front.
Well, maybe we sign him and put Son up front. All possibilities for cutting costs, I'm guessing.
Look, if we're going to sell Harry Kane, we need to bring in a proper forward.
Mm-hmm.
A proper forward, not a winger.
This is Daniel Levy you're talking to.
Yeah. Well, let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on Marcus Thuram. But let's move on. The next one is from John Cross at The Mirror. And he says, Tottenham is one of the clubs competing to sign Ben White. How would you kind of assess Ben White in terms of moving to Tottenham? Is he good enough yet?
I like him. I think he's a really talented player, really talented, versatile defender who's actually good at playing with the ball on the ground as well, not necessarily just clear the danger when needs be. He's quite composed under pressure, and he's fitted in really well on this Brighton side, who play really good football, and I think he's been a big part of that. He can play right back, centre back, defensive mid, so he's kind of like a younger, better version of Eric Dyer, basically. Who's better on the ball, so I kind of think he could be a good move for us. Look, if we're swapping
another version of Eric Dyer,
a better version. If we're swapping Dyer for Ben White, I would be all in favour for that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But let me know your thoughts on Ben White. Obviously, he's just been drafted into the England squad for the Euros as well with the injury to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Jay Burt from The Telegraph says Tottenham and Everton are in the hunt for Uruguay forward Diego Rossi, who's currently playing for Los Angeles at the moment, scoring a bag of goals there, to be honest. I mean, 14 in 19 last season. He's already got 3 in 5 this season. Do you know much about him?
Not really. I don't watch much MLS, to be honest, so I don't know too much about him, but he's a young forward who's done well there. I mean, I have to look into him a bit more, but I don't really know how positive. Look, he can't be a replacement for Kane, so unless he's our backup striker, I wouldn't mind that. I guess if it's a guy. How many caps? Do you have many international caps?
Not for the first Uruguay team. He's had 9 caps for the under-23s. I mean, he's played on every level for Uruguay.
Well, he's 23, so he's not exactly a youngster.
Yeah.
He's not old, but it's not like by 23 you should be getting. If you're that good, you're likely to have an international cap. Then again, he could be a late bloomer, so I don't want to judge too much. But
he got invited to play for the Armenian national team, and I think talks are ongoing with that one.
I guess they have Cavani and Suarez, don't they? So it's not the easiest international team to get in on. But I don't know. I don't know enough about him.
All right. If any of you MLS enthusiasts out there know more about Diego Rossi, do let us know in the comment section below. But now let's talk about Marcel Sabitzer, as the Athletic said yesterday that he does want to leave Leipzig, and he's valued at around £15 million.
Yeah, so it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. We should definitely look to get this one done. But again, he first was at the Euros. If he has an amazing Euros, there could be even bigger clubs than Tottenham sniffing around him if they're not already. So this is a deal I really think that probably had to be done in January if we're gonna make sure of it. The fact that it's going to rumble on and he's so cheap means that I think at this point it's still unlikely that Spurs get him. But you never know. I would have said it was unlikely Villa getting Buendia with other teams in for him, and they got stolen march from the other club. So we got to do the same. But with him being at the Euros, I think it's still going to be a tough one at the moment. But I love him.
If we want him, we need to snap him up as soon as possible, really.
Yeah, especially for that price. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
I agree. But if you want Marcel Sabitzer at Tottenham like the rest of us, do put your comments in the comment section below. Quote from Antonio Conte, who was heavily linked with the Spurs job last week. And his quote is, "Money is not my obsession. I look at projects and I'm ready to stay at home if they don't convince me. I like difficult challenges, but if there is something within a club that does not convince me, I prefer to say no, thank you."
Yeah.
I mean, that tells a story, doesn't it?
100%. As we said before, like he wasn't. I don't think he was even that bothered by his salary. It's more the ambition on the pitch he was worried about, and that's probably what stopped the deal being done. He didn't feel like Spurs were going to be competitive enough for his liking, and that is very, very telling from a top coach like Conte. It's the only thing that's stopping him. And now we're going to get a coach who's nowhere near as successful or as experienced as him, and one who's probably more willing to work within the means of and the constraints of Daniel Levy than someone like Conte was. And it's clear for everyone to see, I think.
When Paratici took Conte to Juventus, he was also a bit of an unknown manager, only managed a few lower teams in Italy. So hopefully Paratici can work his magic again. Yeah,
but Juventus were not of the club, not of the kind of stature of Tottenham, I don't think.
Well, at that stage, yes, they weren't. Juventus obviously were a much bigger club than Tottenham, but they were in a very bad way when Paratici was there.
Yeah, they were, but I still think it's different. I do think it's different. I think with Juventus, there's always going to be a matter of time before they get back to the top. Spurs have never really been at the top. It's different. Mm-hmm. They're a big club who are used to winning titles and is ingrained in them. Spurs, we haven't been that club for decades now. Decades and decades. So I think it's a different job. Different job.
I'm not saying it's not a different job, but the facts of the matter is, I mean, the proof is in the pudding with Paratici and bringing in a manager to get Juventus back to where they belonged.
Yeah, but back to where we belong is top 4, so hopefully he can do that for us. No, I'm not saying he can't, I'm just saying it's different, it's not the same.
No, I agree with you there. Let's move on. Gareth Southgate is set to name 4 fullbacks in the opening game of the Euros, which looks like it's going to be, what do you say, Luke Shaw and Kyle Walker in a back 3 with John Stones in the middle.
Or Maguire. He started training today, so...
Yeah, I doubt he'll be fit enough to start.
Yeah, but isn't Stones didn't play in the games either, so I don't know.
That's true. So maybe Cody or Mings, but one of them. With the right back will be the Reece James or Trippier, most likely Trippier.
Yeah, I would say Trippier.
And left back Chilwell. But to be honest, with the options available to him, I think that's probably the best way to go.
He's probably going with better footballers rather than players who are maybe more natural in that position.
I like Kyle Walker at centre-back. I think he's done a good job.
I do, but when you look back at the Croatia game, he's the one that cost us, to be honest. But I think both those goals, he cost us quite badly for losing concentration.
I think he's had a lot more kind of experience there since then, though.
For City?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't think he actually, to be honest, I don't think he's naturally a great centre back. I think he does a good job there in terms of filling in. I actually don't. I think at centre back he a bit like Sanchez in a way. He can get caught ball watching too much.
His speed can get him out of trouble.
And he can, but his concentration in crucial moments can cost him. So I'm sure we'll get away with it in the group stages, but when we come up against really very good teams, I reckon they'll look to exploit that.
Completely agree. I think,
I reckon though we're just doing it for the early stages while we get our top centre backs fully fit. Then hopefully they can take over and we can get Stones and Maguire in there as well. Paying Luke Shaw at centre back, I think he's done it before, but I don't think it's a position he's used to. But I think it's one he might be able to, because if he'll have Maguire next to him, he can kind of walk him through it.
It's a big if.
Yeah, but he can kind of walk him through it. And I think, Chilwell, Shaw, Walker, and Trippier are just better players than Cody and Mings. So maybe that's why he's doing it. But Cody and Mings are definitely more natural centre backs. That's for certain. So it's kind of a bit of give and take. What you can get.
To be honest, like I said, I think to the options available to us with Stones and Maguire not being fully fit, I think it might be the best option we got.
I would consider starting Ben White.
Yeah, maybe.
I would consider, unless Ben White's the centre back they're thinking of.
I would, I mean, I would start Ben White over probably Cody or Mings.
Yeah, I would as well. I think he's a lot more composed on the ball and he's a lot more comfortable.
All right. Alistair Gold came with an update today. There's just a few snippets to bring you. The first one is one person inside Tottenham told Football London that the club had chased dreams in their managerial search since Jose Mourinho left, and that's definitely what we saw over the last couple of weeks with Poch and Conte being heavily linked and now going for Fonseca. Yeah,
I think they had this kind of dream that they can get a top manager without having to pay like what top managers need, and I think that's what they dreamt of, especially with Conte being on a free and whatnot, maybe getting Poch to resign. But looking back at it, it was all unrealistic. Everyone kind of knew it was unrealistic, but we were kind of just hoping anyway it'll pull off. But in hindsight, it's so obvious how unrealistic these searches were, and now Fonseca's definitely more of the ilk of what we were linked with at the beginning of the window.
Definitely true. Next one is many within Tottenham doubt that Daniel Levy will ever relinquish too much power at the club. And this is obviously coming after signing, well, it's not confirmed yet, but it looks as though we are signing Paratici, or it looks like we have done in Director of Football. And that was supposed to mean that Daniel Levy was taking a step back and Paratici was going to be in charge of footballing matters.
Well, it's funny, we're all talking about Paratici, like Fonseca's Paratici's choice and stuff. We haven't even announced Paratici yet still. I feel like he's been unofficially announced, already talking
like
about
that,
why not just announce him then? If it's all done and he's already looking for a manager, then surely he has to be announced. It feels weird. Maybe they're waiting for to announce them together, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, a Telegraph, I saw an update from the Telegraph, was it yesterday, last night, or early this morning, I can't remember what it was, but they said that Tottenham have earmarked two days to announce them separately next week.
I know, it's all very strange. I don't know why, I don't get it. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me about Daniel Levy, because I feel like Daniel Levy has been such a big part of Tottenham for 20 years now, and I think he enjoys the power. I think he enjoys the negotiation. I think he enjoys trying to get every little saving every last penny and maximising profits and all this. I think he loves it. I don't think he just does it as a job. I think he really enjoys it, and I think it's very difficult for him to let go of any sort of power that he's gained at Tottenham over the last 20 years. So
you'd think he'd get better at it as time went on.
The talk, he seems to be getting worse, to be honest.
Yeah,
and so the talk of him not relinquishing power, even though he's trying to portray an image of relinquishing power, does not surprise me whatsoever. Doesn't surprise me, and I think as long as he's involved, he's going to be part of. He's going to have a lot to say in decision making. And
the last one from Alistair Gold is Steve Hitchen is believed to be unaware of the moves to bring in Fabio Paratici, and then it goes on to say that Tottenham are understood to want Steve Hitchen to remain within the new structure. What? Remain doing what?
I don't know what he's going to do. Maybe he's going to be Paratici's PA. I don't know. I've got no idea. And he's just going to turn to TV like, I'm getting coffee from, I hate it. I hate it. Or he's like, well, you hated the transfer window as well. I thought I'd give you a new role. Maybe you like that one. You hate everything, Steve. But I don't know. I got no idea. We'll have to wait and see. Because look, Steve and Levy are good friends, aren't they? So I assume it's probably difficult for Levy to just fire him or chuck him to the wolves. He wants him involved somehow. Or maybe he still values his opinion. So
he looked like he was good friends with Pochettino. And
maybe
Mourinho
he just like he feels like getting Paratici and Hitchin has to be a sacrificial lamb in the sense that people have been complaining about him being sporting director. So he's a sacrificial lamb, but he'll kind of keep him around for other roles. That's how I feel it is.
Fair enough. But yeah, that is the end of the Tottenham update today. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts regarding any of the news we brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.